What's up, everybody? This your boy Serpent 20, aka Devon, back with another video. Today's topic, man. But before y'all see the title though, but before I go into it, I'm just gonna make a couple shout outs real quick. Uh, Shout out to the Dream Team. You know what I mean? Uh, One Stop for Gamers and Demon Ralph and Baby Girl in particular for showing your boy so much love. I've been I've been trying to get into their videos, you know what I mean, and be in the chat section and stuff. And they've been showing your boy some love. So I told them next time if I made a video, I would give them a shout out. Also, I also want to give a shout out to the PlayStation Nation All Stars. They too, that group, show they've been showing your boy so much love too. Um, you know what I mean? It's just we just gotta keep it gaming, man. Now that I put that little disclaimer out the way, uh, you can check out all my other plugins. I will leave them in the description down below. Now, on today's topic, console wars are irrelevant. Now, people might think, oh, what do you mean by that? I just believe to a certain extent they are irrelevant. Now, I'm not hating on the people who are, just promoting their platform of choice. You know, if you can do it in a more, I don't know, in a more debate kind of way, you know what I mean? Just keep it down to a minimum, you know what I mean? Just take it down a couple of notches, man. Don't bring it like to some extremist level, you know. And this is why I made this video. Because a couple of weeks ago, the head of Microsoft, Phil Spencer, he made a statement saying that he's not really gonna be all about trying to take down the PlayStation brand, you know, which for people who have common sense, that should already been a given, you know what I mean? Like when you see these companies competing with one another, their job is not to bash the competition. Their job is to make sure that their particular brand is, same thing on the PlayStation side. A couple of weeks prior to Phil Spencer making that statement, Shuhei Yoshida, the head of PlayStation, saying that he's going to be more. He's probably going to be focusing more on third parties and stuff. You know, third party support. Basically, what Xbox did last generation with with the 360. He's been getting a lot of flack lately because everybody wants to know, like, where are these games? Where are these games? You just got to open your eyes, man. You know, he brings out the games. It's just probably not the games you guys are probably particularly like. So I saw these statements, and I've been on these YouTube streets, sorry, ever since. You know what I mean? Like had my ears to the ground, and I'm just seeing a lot of hate from both sides. So I decided to come out with this video. I'm gonna try to make this quick because, you know, I shouldn't really have to dwell too much on this topic. I'm trying to explain. I'm basically trying to give out my own opinion. So if I get a lot of flack for this, I'm just letting y'all know that it's just my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. So anybody who wants to comment on my video about whatever it is you have a gripe with, just let me know, and we can have a discussion back and forth, as long as you keep it on a level where we can just talk like men, or, you know, women, wherever the case may be, you know what I mean? If you're a female, just keep it on a general, you know, a sensible, let's just talk like adults, is basically what I'm saying. You know, like, just not keep it, like, let's keep the extremists and the crumb side out of it. You know what I mean? That's all I ever want. If I could just get that, we could be good. Um, when choosing your console, right now, exclusives are important. Some may say it's irrelevant. Some may say, it's what pushes you to buy the console. Talking about the latter, I would have to agree. If both consoles coming out with the exact same games, it's pretty much hard. It will be hard to choose one if you only had to choose one. And like I've been telling the gaming industry, I mean not the gaming industry, the gaming community, sorry, that I'm a multi-console owner, man. Like I've been like that ever since the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, way back. I believe what generation was that? I think it was the fifth. I've been multi-console since then. I never wanted to miss out on any exclusive, especially if it's an exclusive that I particularly played, whether it was since I was a kid or maybe as I was growing up. Exclusives are important in that sense. But if you can afford both, just buy both. If you use one platform more than the other, that's okay, because I remember there was times where people will come to my house and they would see my consoles, right? And they'd be like, why do you have all these consoles? I basically tell them like that, and these are non-gamers, by the way. And I would tell them like, listen, I get these consoles because if there's a game that I want to play, I don't want to miss out. So if I only bought a PlayStation and then if there's an Xbox exclusive game that I want to play so bad, I don't want to be like one of those people that be like, oh my God, now I got to trade in my PS4 and get an Xbox One. Or if it was the other case, if it was a PlayStation exclusive and all I got is an Xbox One, I don't want to be that person that be like, damn, I got to go. I'm missing out. So then you're missing out a whole generation of exclusive games that could be great. That could even change your experience on, what I mean, changing your whole view and adding more gaming to your library and your repertoire as a gamer. You know what I mean? So why would I want to miss out? Um, the only console that I don't have as of now is a Wii U. And the only reason why I haven't gotten a Wii U is because there's not a game that that's out right now that I would want to have to go get the console. I was basically gonna wait for Zelda Wii U, but they keep pushing it, So if they're gonna keep pushing it, then I'm just gonna keep on waiting. Um, and also Xenoblade Chronicles X, which I believe that should be coming out soon. So I might be getting a Wii U just for that game alone. And talking about these extremists, man, I'm telling you, I feel like they take it way too far. If you like your platform, if you like your piece of plastic, you don't have to go to that route of spreading craziness. And I'm not just talking about one platform in particular. I'm talking about both sides. And I mean both. I mean both Sony and Microsoft, because I hear it from both ends. And I love my RPGs, right? I love my JRPGs. They're I tell people all the time, those games are my genre of choice. Not my game of choice, not my platform of choice, but it's my genre of choice. If I had to choose between a shooter and an RPG, I'm going to pick an RPG. If I had to pick an action and adventure over an RPG, I'm gonna be picking that RPG. I'm sorry. Depending on if that RPG has a strong story narrative and if it has a great battle system, yeah, I'm gonna go get that RPG because I know I'm gonna get my money's worth. Um, and I know if I go and purchase that game, that's a guaranteed automatic 40 to 80 hours of just straight up gameplay. Not even to mention probably extra hours on top of that with the side quests, if they have any, or any DLC that comes with that game. You feel me? I'm just saying. And people believe that, what Phil Spencer said, the thing I mentioned earlier, he's focusing on Xbox. Now, I feel like, in my opinion, he does a way better job than Don Matrick. Straight up, real talk. Um, Understand this. We haven't even got a real a MPD number from Microsoft since they announced that they shipped I believe 13.8 million. And as Sony continue to grow, and I think we're up to like what? I believe 23 million, something around that ballpark. I'm trying to be, factual as possible because I'm not one to spread lies and propaganda and all that mess. You know what I mean? I when I make these vids, I do my research, man. I do my homework before I even come on this camera. You know what I mean? Just understand that. So rather than people thinking that, okay, Phil gave up, but I don't think he gave up. He just letting y'all know, like, listen, y'all taking it too far, and he just had a shut y'all down with that. You know what I mean? Like, hush up. Like, it's crazy, man. I'm just telling you, it's 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 a competition, right? You got to keep it. You have to keep competition going, right? If one platform decides to monopolize and shut all the other um, companies down, then you're gonna get all types of fuckery. You know what I mean? You're gonna get all types of crap that nobody in this community, I would believe, would want. They be able to push whatever they feel like they need to push, and there's nobody that's gonna stop them or keep them in check. That's why competition is important. I would never say that Sony needs to kill off Microsoft, or Microsoft has to kill off Sony. Like, they both have to be on equal ground. You know what I mean? On both ends. And I'm just and I'm sorry for the Nintendo fans out there, man. I'm basically keeping you guys out of it because the company over there, they decide they don't even want to be involved in these wars, man. And they already focusing on their next gen console hybrid, the NX, like whatever you want to call it. So they're already trying to push the next gen out, which in my opinion they need to. And and then on the Sony side, right? Let me just get back on the Sony side real quick. There's nothing wrong with what Shuhei Yoshida is trying to do, yo, because obviously whatever it is that they do over there, their consoles are still pushing. And I always tell people this, man. If I had to pick one, if let's just say I was unfortunate to make a lot of money and I only had enough to buy one console, I would have to look at both ends, all right? I would have to say, okay, what does Microsoft offer? What does Sony offer? What does Nintendo offer? I would have to do my pros and cons, and then I have to be like, okay, I'm a gamer. I'm going to be using these things to play games for the most part. So we can skip all the little, the Hulu, the Netflix, the Crunchyroll, the Funimation. We can just skip all that out of the way, right? Because all those things, I can easily be on my laptop with that if I really needed those types of features on my console. So that's irrelevant when it's coming to this purchase, right? I'm gonna just keep that out. So obviously, if you gotta put that out the way, what's what's next in line? Obviously, the games, right? The games, because that's what's important at the end of the day. I'm not just gonna go and rush to buy a console and not buy games to support that console. Yeah, that's my PS4 right now. Yeah, I'm on my PS4. And let's see. I would personally have to choose the PS4 over the Xbox One. Now, y'all Xbox extremists, right? You guys got to calm the hell down, right? The only reason why I would pick Sony over Microsoft, not because it's the most popular brand right now as of this date. It's not because that, you know, they're doing things that Xbox is not doing. No, it's none of those things. It's basically because they're coming out with the games that I grew up to love. They're the ones that's pushing out these so-called Japanese games, the Japanese games that I grew up enjoying. So if Microsoft was doing the exact same thing, that choice of mine would have been a lot harder, because then I would have to really boil down to the actual price. That would have been my next tier of what I needed to consider in buying this one of these consoles. Yes, Don Matrick fucked up when he announced on E3 that they was going to push this DRM. Now, whether you was on board with that or not, I just think it was too soon to even push that agenda out, whatever it is they were trying to push with that, right? Nobody wants to be online all the time. Hell, even when the last gen came, when I was on my 360 and my PS3, the only time I was actually online is when I was actually going to go and play multiplayer with a bunch of my friends. And if I wanted to go, like, let's say, watch a movie, watch an anime, or play a single player without any distractions like notification pops ups and whatnot, I would actually go and turn the Wi-Fi off. You know what I mean? Just keep it off. So who wants to be online all the time just to keep your console running? Now, let's just say you couldn't pay your internet bill. Not to say that I can't afford my shit, because I can't afford my shit. I'm just talking about the console, the low class people who may or may not be able to afford theirs, or maybe they're in an area where they have bad download and upload speeds. You know what I mean? Or a provider that can't push those high speeds for gaming. You have to really take all those things in consideration. And even some countries that may not even have internet access, you have to think about all that stuff. So when he said that, yes, people gotta be negative about it. Yes, it still hurts them to this day about that. That's why they're low on sales. And no matter how much damage control that Phil is trying to do, and believe you me, I'm not hating on Phil for doing it, because since he's been on board, he's been doing a spectacular job. And what a lot of people don't understand is that what he's trying to do, Phil, is making sure that people forget and push the consoles out, whether it's a bundle deal, whether it's a exclusive game, whether they drop the price, whether they they um they add TVs and all kinds of deals along with it. Like, you got to understand something, man. Don messed it up, and Phil is basically picking up the pieces. Now, if I had to push it to like a politic point of view, it's like when Bush went to war, and now Obama had to pick up the pieces of the war that Bush started. It's basically the same damn thing, and it's like you can't hate on Phil for doing what he is being hired and paid to do. And then on the other hand, like people want to say, oh, they coming out with Sony's coming out with these indies and all these games I don't even can't even pronounce, and all these are niche. And I'm like, how are they niche? Like if they're selling well, obviously they're not niche. I feel like the definition of a niche game is a game that everybody sleeps on. You know what I mean? Like nobody even knew it was out. Like it had low marketing and nobody knew nothing about it. And next you know, it's like, let's just say IGN or Kotaku or somebody or GameSpot decide to pick it up and do a review or an impression on it. And next you know, it sells like hotcakes. Those are niche. Okay, those are the type of games you would consider niche. RPGs are not niche. Some Japanese games are not niche. I'm just saying. That's like saying uh Halo's niche or Forza's niche. Like you can't say every fucking game that people may not play or don't like is niche. Now I can understand like okay, let's go switch over to third party, right? Now, third party is it's third party, you know, it runs on both consoles. And you might take this the wrong way, but third party takes a big role in these platforms because they basically are filler to to fill in the gap between their exclusives. And now I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you got to understand something, man. You have to uh whether it's Call of Duty, whether it's any other third party. I'm having a brain fart right now, but it's basically like you have to understand that people are gonna buy what they buy, and you can't convince another man or another woman to um to get the games you want them to get or get the console that you want them to have. It's like I'm my own person. You can't force me to buy your plastic of choice or your game of choice if I'm myself is not particularly fond of the game or not in particularly happy about your brand of choice. You can't push that towards people, man, because you're not me. If let's just say I want to play, I don't know, I'm gonna give out an example of Halo 5. Now, you think Halo 5 is great. I might think it's okay. Don't try to force me to make me feel what you feel for Halo 5 because you're not me. And this is why I made this video. Is because I see some of these YouTubers, I can't say a lot, some of these YouTubers want to push other people to like what they like. You can't do that because I'm not you, you not me. That's like me trying to tell you, yo, pick up that Storm, that Naruto Storm. You're not gonna like that. You know, I like that, but you may not like it. I might tell you it's great, that it deserves a 10 out of 10, 5 stars, all that. if you're not into the franchise, you're not into the game period, or you just don't like anime in general, why would I try to force you to like it? Because me forcing you to like it, it's not gonna push the overall sales on in these business deals, in these business wise console wars. It's not gonna happen. People gotta buy what they buy. People gotta like what they like, and it's just crazy to me, man. Like, console wars are irrelevant. If you're gonna have a civil discussion about them, that's cool. I don't mind that. I could go back and forth on that, no problem. But when you taking it too far, when you're trying to like, when people trying to spread lies and propaganda and trying to convince others to like what they like, man, like, who does that? Since when in the since the era of gaming does anyone do that? I remember back in the day when back in Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis days when we were kids, and yes, mommy and daddy couldn't buy both consoles, like, you know what I mean? Or maybe you had a Sega Genesis, but I had a Super Nintendo, and the only way I was able to play that other console is if I go to my friend's house, and vice versa. They come to my house. I might have a game that he might want to play, but he can't play it at his house because he don't have that console, and vice versa. So we go to each other's houses and, have a sleepover or something, and or just have a day off from school and just play all day. That's fine. Back in the day, we couldn't afford it. We were kids. We would have to possibly beg mommy and daddy to do what we had to do. And that to me, they that's now that we're grown, now that we're grown as men and women, we have to we have jobs. We can earn money. We can support our brands of choices. And that's all it is. But I ramble on this too much, man. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. If you like my video, like my video. If you don't, dislike it. I really could care less. Subscribe if you like my channel, man. Support it. You know what I mean? Just I just keep it real. And also, on a side note, I'm trying to get a podcast together. Um, I'm looking for like-minded gamers and YouTubers, man. And you know what I mean? Just hit me up. I'll leave all my plugins down in the description box below. Once again, it's your boy Serpent 20, aka Devon, and I'm out. Peace.